About a year ago, I had just bought an old pickup truck, and this is what it looked like. Not bad, hey? Well, this is the prettiest part of it. The underside looked pretty scary. And what about the engine? Well, it hadn't been running in years. I didn't even have a key for the truck, so I couldn't even try to start it. And let alone lock or unlock the doors. But that was 1 year ago. Hello guys, my name is George. Last year I rebuilt this truck, and then it got cold, and then it snowed, and then I had to stop. But I had finished it in time for me to actually use it in the past few months. And now we're in the middle of April 2025. This is a 1989, guys. And I'm happy because it's actually quite reliable. It runs good. And it's simple technology that I can actually handle, that I can actually fix. So, one thing that's been slightly bugging me about it is when I stop at a red light and I have my foot on the brake, the idle is almost perfect, but it is not 100% smooth. And since I already changed the oxygen sensor and the idle air control valve, I'm thinking one thing that is left that might be at fault for this is the EGR valve. Now hopefully the one that's in there could be cleaned up and be functional again, but I think it is probably seized up or something. So on the agenda for today is to take this out, try to clean it up, see if it holds the vacuum. There's a diaphragm on there. It's a vacuum operated one. And then hopefully put it back in with a new gasket and be done. If not, well, they cost about $160 to $225 Canadian. So we'll see. What I'm up against right now, I want to show you. See, this is where it's at. I'm gonna have to vacuum in there a little bit too. See, there's leaves in there from who knows what. Blown in there from last fall, I guess. There's one nut that I already undid. It's loose, but it's not the nut that's loose, it's the stud that's coming out completely. And the other side, you can see it right there underneath all this other stuff. Should be a piece of cake, so it shouldn't be very hard to get this out. This is where I'm at, and once I got this out, then I'll show you what's happening with it and if it's any point to try and revive this or if I just need to replace it. It's pretty easy to get out and it doesn't look horrible. What I found out so far is that when I press down on this diaphragm, it moves freely, and also when I press it down and then I block this vacuum line here, this where the vacuum goes in, it doesn't go right back. So it means that it's holding the vacuum, which to me means that I can just clean this up a little bit, and that should be all I have to do. Now, of course, with this, I can't really be sure if that was actually causing my uneven idle, but it's quite possible that maybe, you know, it was a little bit clogged or something. So I'm gonna put some fuel injector cleaner in here and in here. But in order to protect the diaphragm, I'm going to put some plastic around there. Like this one right here. El plástico, el plástico. I need a kind of container, maybe. So I'll put it in here if I want to put it in the shed later because I want to let it soak longer. I can put it, and now I'm spraying it here like this. And it should theoretically hold the liquid. I'll fill this up. It is going down. See the air bubbles coming? Let this soak for a while. In the meantime, I'm going to grab the shop vac and vacuum on that intake manifold. And then these studs, they weren't really supposed to come out. So what I'll do about it is I'll take off the nuts and put the studs in there by themselves with a tiny little bit of Loctite. And then the next time, hopefully these nuts will come off. Hopefully there won't have to be a next time for a while. Well, this was harder than expected, but I found a way. Can you see it? Yeah. I put the nut into the vise and I use a little pipe wrench and it works. Of course, I put some penetrating oil in there first. So I got both of these studs out. Almost no damage to the threads, but that's what I have my tap and die set for. So I'm gonna redo these threads, and then I'm gonna put the studs back in there after I vacuum my manifold, you know, and then it's all clean. Now with the I'm gonna get back to the EGR valve though before I do anything. It should completely be sealed there, but it leaks onto this surface here, and if that's equal to a vacuum leak, which explains my idle, I think. It's a very minor problem at this point, but it'll affect it. So yeah, I gotta get another one of these valves for 158 or whatever dollars it was. Not cheap. But you know, they'll last 10 years, so that's good. Alright, here's my method of redoing the threads. I got a 3/16 socket, which isn't exactly what this is, but it'll hold it. And now I'm screwing it into the die. I got some penetrating oil in lieu of cutting oil, so I'm using that instead. And it's always served me okay because I only do, like this is not a completely new thread I'm cutting. Just need a little bit of a lubricant. And it works good enough. This was the one that I messed up a little bit. The other one's already done. Threads are restored as good as they could be. Yeah, I can do it just easily by hand. I just got to clean them up with brake cleaner, make sure there's no oil on there, and then put a little bit of Loctite in there when I put them into the manifold. Because I don't want them to come out when I unscrew the valve. Now, this valve, I don't want to put it back in there, even though I don't have another one. So I have to order one. I scraped the gasket surface pretty good. I'm losing half my Loctite here, but it doesn't take very much. So here's the situation. I bought this valve, I bought a gasket for that valve, hoping that I could just clean it up, put it back, and I'd be done. So I figured I have to have the gasket. And if the valve is bad, then I have to get the valve, and it usually comes with a gasket. But now it's Easter Saturday. Tomorrow is Easter Sunday. Nobody will be open. I think Monday I'll be okay. Thing is, I can probably get this valve online a whole lot cheaper than in the store locally, but I may not have a choice. And being that my gasket cost $4.40 with the GST, maybe I'll get my money back for that. I didn't even open the package, but now I need the entire EGR valve, and it's windy here. So that's where I'm at. Gotta leave this for now. So I ran another test, put some solvent in here, and when the valve is closed, I can see the bubbles rising. But when I blow in here, when I try to blow in here, it seems to hold the pressure quite well. I have to blow really hard to notice anything. Now, when I activate this by pressing on the diaphragm, it goes right through. So basically, the valve is functioning as it's supposed to be, but it's leaking very, very slightly, which probably doesn't matter most of the time. But at idle, I think it's supposed to be open so that some exhaust gas comes in there. And when that happens, then there's a vacuum leak around the stem. And I think that's what's causing my rough idle. Now, I'm inviting you to leave me a comment, because I am not really 100% expert on this, but I am totally interested in how this works. And this truck already taught me a few things, and the EGR is becoming one of them right now. So you get the idea. I was putting a thin layer of this on there before I put it on the truck. Alright, next I have a little bit of a smaller brush here, like for artwork kind of deal, because I only want to get a little bit of this around here, and I'm going to actually operate the shaft to get it on where it goes in. See, this is what we're trying to lubricate. See, what I'm using is anti-seize. It should be good for the temperature, you know, stable at the high temperature, and the exhaust is there. I don't know if that's enough to make any difference at all, but it's an attempt, because I just need to get by for a few days with the old EGR valve, that's all. So I think this should be fine. Let's put her back in. That's fine. Yeah, holding the camera and putting the nuts on at the same time, not going to work. I need both hands, because the last thing I need is those nuts to roll down there somewhere where I can't retrieve them. Right, one last look before I put the air cleaner assembly back on, and yeah, you can see both of these nuts are there. They're extremely hard to reach, so you have to take your time. Some say that it's best to use a ratcheting half-inch wrench. Well, you could do it with open end one side and a closed 12 point on the other. Little by little, just go by feel, make sure it's nice and tight. It's good to go. Believe me, I got more keys for this truck than most people have for their house and car combined. In case you didn't know, my previous pickup truck was stolen October of 2022. Now I got this one. Well, let's see how she'll start. Sounds good. I can't guarantee you that this camera is going to stay in place, but we're going for a ride. We're going to go on a local freeway for a couple of exits, and then I'll be able to tell, because then the engine will be warmed up enough So guys, this is very much an improvised video, not very polished at all. I decided kind of last minute as I was investigating this EGR valve that maybe I can make a video out of this. And now that the truck is just about warmed up and I'm sitting in my driveway with the truck still in drive and I got my foot on the brake, and let's just listen very carefully. There should be some EGR going right now, exhaust gas recirculation.
Sorry guys, the camera battery died right there, but the video was done anyways. I ordered a new valve and I'll let you know how it goes in the next video. Until then, leave me some comments. Am I on the right track?